Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play the Occult Chronicles. In the last episode, Samwise continued to explore more of the first floor. Our current objective should be to wrap up the first floor in this episode. The first floor itself, at least inside the mansion, has the easiest encounters for us to handle at the moment, and the easiest in terms of random encounters also. We're almost done with it. Now, that said, at the end of the last episode, we drew a really nightmarish story token. If we are forced to do a psychic challenge, we're going to need to make sure we win. Or there's a chance that when we flip over a penalty card after losing, that we will immediately lose the game, as instant insanity cards are guaranteed to be generated in the results phase of that. We picked up an axe in the last episode, we gained another talisman in the last episode, and we also gained a grappling hook, so we're looking pretty good when it comes to equipment. And with all that said, let's pick up where we left off. Right, and we had just gotten a quest from Colonel Von Pelt to come over here and investigate the ghosts, basically. Somewhere in the mansion there is a stuffed polar bear, which we need to defeat, take the head of, and place it back on the wall in this room. I don't think I've ever seen the polar bear show up in this room itself, though. I suspect one of these encounters is the all the heads on the wall, and the other one of these is probably the stuffed crocodile. So we'll come back for them later when we don't have this story token in effect. Alright, so I'm done babbling. Let's go ahead and keep exploring more of the mansion. I guess we can investigate the plant room. Let's see what's inside the conservatory today. Your eyes are immediately drawn to the dancing flames. They seem to have no source of fuel, but are confined to a chalk circle enclosing a pentagram. At each point, a small votive candle still burns. Then you notice the robed body sprawled on the wooden floor. You step closer. As you advance step by step, you begin to feel uneasy. You sense a powerful evil presence in the room, and a chill runs down your spine. A face takes form in the flames, and you stop in your tracks. It seems to stare into your soul, and you are afraid. This thing bound within the pentagram is demonic. Of that there can be no doubt. You must focus your mind and overcome the swelling sense of panic that the creature's gaze has sent through your entire being. In the last episode, we didn't do so well with most of the horror challenges. Hopefully, we'll have turned over a new leaf after seeing all those ghosts in the mansion, and begin passing a great deal many more of them. Oh, right, we also, in the last episode, picked up a new skill card and improved our wands once through it. You have kept your sanity, and you break eye contact with the flaming demon. You'll know better than to look it directly in the eyes again. You've stumbled upon the scene of a demon summoning gone wrong. The power within the pentagram circle has obviously lashed out at his would-be master and killed him outright. What the hell was he doing here? Looks like he's a member of that black circle who wounded Samwise for destroying most of their coven, right? That's the history that we have going for him so far? I think that's it. So maybe this was one of the last fewest members here, and the summoning went wrong because he was tricked into doing this summoning by the vampire coven that betrayed this guy in the end. Avoiding contact with the demon's fiery eyes, you examine the scene more closely. You notice that the chalk circle has been broken ever so slightly. This must be what led to the demise of the robed figure lying prostrate before you. Who knows what this poor evil soul had in mind that would compel him to consort with demons? You must tread carefully here. So we can bargain with the demon in order to try to get a quest from it. I think we'll go ahead and make an attempt at this. If this fails, then we're going to have to fight the demon. So I think we'll give this one try, and if we're successful, great. If not, we'll might fight the demon or flee from it, depending upon how difficult it is to do either of those things afterwards. And if we do take a second stab at it, we'll actually try completing the circle instead. Any case, let's bargain with the demon. With the chalk circle broken, you wonder why the demon has not attacked you. Perhaps you could try and communicate with it and see what it wants. It's a choice that should be considered carefully. You know from your training that the demon will seek to deceive and dominate you. Oh, 2 kings in our hand. That's very promising. And we were thankfully able to use one of them. Initiating the communication via the lost sign language of Chaldash, you establish contact with the demon. It claims to be a prince of hell, but you suspect it exaggerates. It wants you to do something for it, and it promises to reward you if you hold to the bargain. The demon wants your help and threatens to kill you and take your soul just as it did this sorry acolyte lying at your feet if you do not cooperate. In this house, a worthless servant of his has been trapped in a ritual of summoning. It was bound by the acolyte to a fireplace as a crude joke. On its mantelpiece is an old slip of paper with writing on it. Bring the paper back here so that he can release his servant and punish him. If you do this, he promises a reward fitting your task. You notice a row of sculpted marble busts against the wall. You count 4 until you notice that one has fallen to the floor and subsequently cracked in half. A chill comes over you as you watch in amazement as the faces of the busts begin to move. Lips pucker and cheeks flex as if they were warming up for something, and then they begin to sing. You hold your hands to your ears, but the ghostly singing will not cease. Some jingle about grim grinning ghosts flowing from their lips, and you just wish the noise would stop. It might drive you crazy if it doesn't. You start grinning right back at them, and it seems to annoy them greatly. Good job, Samwise. The chorus of talking heads continues unabated, even though it has no further effect on you. The heads seem to be having too good a time to stop. You are certain that some sorcerous curse has bound spirits to these busts as some form of punishment. Just who was being punished, though, is an open question. You decide to use your expertise as a medium to attract the bust's attention and see if you can find out what their story is. They might have useful information, since they seem to have been sitting here for quite some time. That's wonderful. Taking a face card with... Oh, that would have been even more wonderful, but too late now. Hey, a few extra points for that. Well done again, Samwise. You enter a trance and start singing along with them. It's painful, but by messing up the words and being dreadfully out of tune, you get their attention. Soon they are begging you to stop. That's when you take control of the conversation. The busts were once members of a family that resided here. The story is muddled and conflicting from the various heads, and you are sure they are lying about what happened to some extent. But the short of it is that they were cursed by a Black Lodge sorcerer. Oh, maybe that was the same guy who died here. Maybe this was only something recent that happened to them. They are unanimous in their opinion, though, that you can help them. The sorcerer also cursed a statue of a gargoyle. It resides somewhere in the house and contains a coin inside that, when used properly, can break the curse. Okay. So there is no way to get easily on the other side of the mansion, and we don't have a real reason to do so. So the piano has the second part of the quest that we got from the dancing ghosts in the ballroom. And we haven't searched this one room that might have the Vishaka in it. And we have more encounters down here to still take a peek at. This here is probably the stairway leading up to the second floor, guarded by the angry poltergeist of knives. So we're going to go out and around all of this interlocking... we're going to take these interlocking hallways to make our way back to the ballroom. We don't want to try to tackle the angry poltergeist of knives at the moment, because that is definitely a psychic challenge. And it's a difficult one to beat. And again, if we don't have to use our Arcana card, I like to hold on to the star until we absolutely must use it. And by that, I mean either an encounter that would be very dangerous to attempt, like the Angry Poltergeist and Knives, or an encounter that is worth doing because it could give us a great reward. So here, for example, this is an instance where I no longer will be doing this psychic test against a ghost. We've used this in the past, because currently, again, that story token's active, and there's a chance we could die instantly if we fail to defeat the ghost. So we're going to try a getter. Which works out for us anyway. It's one more card draw. Okay, this is the first opportunity I think that we've gotten where our axe might be able to assist us in taking this card, this trick. Hey, that worked. Nice. You got her good. No one's gonna believe how you did it, and you're not sure you are either. Man, we haven't gotten anything from the ghosts you've been defeating yet. This has actually been a really interesting game as well, right? Because I've gotten significantly more experience with other characters so far in the game than with Samwise. But the game's being very kind to me in a different way, giving us lots of decent equipment to raise my stats instead of experience points. It's interesting. It's one of the few times this has actually happened to me. Let's see what this is. Oh, the gargoyle statue. Your attention is drawn to a large stone statue of a truly horrific and bizarre-looking gargoyle. It sits on a pedestal with its arms wrapped around its legs. You feel a sudden shock shoot down your spine as you notice its eyelids blink open. The stone statue is alive. You fight to control a growing tide of fear that is sweeping over you. You wonder what fell sorcery could animate this statue. You start to shiver and shake as your courage and sanity start to slip away. Now, this is a horror check, not a psychic check, so I'm not too concerned about failing these. The gargoyle stretches itself out and unfurls its large wings. You note its razor-sharp claws. Before you realize it, it moves forward to attack you. So, I think normally you can only attack the gargoyle or flee it. I added, I think, the option to use magic against it. I think I did. I can't remember. But it's in our best interest to just physically beat it up, so let's do that. It's most likely animated by sorcery, but it has a physical body. You decide to hit it with everything that you have, which apparently is not going to be very much with this card draw. The sorcery animating the gargoyle is very powerful. You sense the hand of the Black Lodge in this. Again. Ooh, proving that we have some history with these necromancers. Let's try that again. There it was. I had a good feeling there. For some reason, sometimes I have a good feeling there is another face card up here if I have, like, the king of that suit. I had a good feeling there was one, which is why you saw me use the axe here to take this cup so I could hold on to my king for a little longer and see if I could take it. How about that? But we didn't get a chance to do it in the end anyway. But we still won. You won the battle. The gargoyle falls to the floor and shatters into small pieces. Right. Sometimes, when you complete a quest, you actually get the item that the quest was hinting exists. In this case, we get the Beggar's Coin. Unfortunately, the Beggar's Coin, like many of these items, is actually a cursed item. It's inflicting us with a Wands penalty at the moment, so this means we are going to go straight back to the Talking Busts in order to get rid of this coin. It also is weighing down our Wands. I don't know if I mentioned it, but just in case you guys forgot, every item that you claim, every spell that you own, every psychic talent that you possess has a weight associated with it. That's this giant number down here. Your capacity for holding items of that type is based around your statistics over here, and with it possibly some feats that you're allowed to take, or edges is the proper word to say. And so, in this case, this beggar's coin weighs 2 wands weight, it consumes 2 wands capacity, and we have a max of 2 wands capacity. So thankfully, we were able to take the beggar's coin. But unfortunately, the only thing this does for us is hurt us. It'll make all horror checks more difficult, and if we're forced to take a psychic challenge, there's a great chance we're going to lose because our wands has been lowered a bit. You are surprised by a sudden flickering of shadow that spreads out around you. You feel like you are being choked by some invisible force. Your eyes bulge as you fight to gasp for air, and the dark shadows swirl around you. You shake off the feeling that you are choking, and finally breathe freely. Two creatures of the shadows swirl around you. You recognize immediately that you are dealing with a type of ghostly creature that feeds off human emotions, fear and pain being the most succulent. You can either stand firm and fight them psychically, or run and hope to fight another day. So normally, this is the only encounter that you are able to use with them. I'm sorry, you can dispel the shadows with psychics, or you can flee the shadow spirits. I've added this option to shadow box them here. It says combat. It's a decent chance actually to win. Let's take it. You throw a few jabs and notice they actively avoid the shadow of your punches. For a second they hesitate, and that's when you realize you can take them. It's going to be a bit of touch and go, though, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, we'll win the encounter. The odds of making that a 7 is very low. Not many people are afraid of their own shadows, let alone others. Looks like these nightmares should have been, though. Okay, you approach the singing bus with the cursed coin and free them. You read the inscription on the coin and it magically separates into 5 pieces. You place a fragment into the mouth of each of the busts, careful not to forget the cracked one on the floor. After the last head swallows its fragment, you see glowing spirits rise from each head and then evaporate. It seems they have left you a reward. 1 experience point. And 2 life. Alright, not a very good reward. But given how difficult it's been for us to even get any experience points, I'm glad to get at least 1. Now you could argue that that was a real waste of time. Going all the way over here, doubling all the way back again with that 1 beggar's coin. But again, I don't want my wands to be 2 at this point in the game. We're about to run out of encounters, places we can safely explore on the first floor. Which means that we're going to need to start exploring the second floor. Oh, here's the way up. So this is a room back here then. The butler may be back there. I'm not going to go up these stairs yet. Obviously, they'll lead to the second floor, and that will probably connect into the other second floor. Darn it. Someone had told me how to check the other maps. But in any case, this staircase will lead to the second floor, and that second, the hallways there will lead back to the main entryway up here for the second floor too, the foyer on the second floor. So I'm going to wait to take this until we're all done with everything else on this side of the mansion, which will be very soon. Because I think we've only got this room and then these 2 rooms to search. Oh, sorry, this 1 room. Actually, this could be a way downstairs. Or this could be the way downstairs also. You see a large marble fireplace decorated with ornate sculptures. But what really astonishes you is the fire burning within the hearth. The flames dance around and lick the walls of the fireplace, almost as if it were some type of living entity. Then it strikes you. A demonic face appears in the flames, and the sudden realization that this creature has noticed you sends a wave of horror rolling over you. You struggle to keep calm and not give in to panic. You are looking straight in the face of some type of flaming evil horror. It seems to dominate your mind, and you know that you must not let that happen. Your will is stronger than the evil creature of flame. You force it out of your mind and hold on to your sanity. The face in the fire smiles at you. This demonic creature must have been bound to the fireplace. How long ago and by whom are questions that you cannot answer. You cautiously step forward so that you can examine the situation in more detail. The demon seems contained within the hearth, but you have no idea how strong his binding there is. 1 second, everyone. Okay, better. Alright, so... Ooh, bargaining with this demon is going to be difficult. Even searching for the old paper's tough. Let's try this, though. This must be the worthless servant that the demon in the broken circle was talking about. You inch forward to see if you can spot the piece of paper with the writing on it. Not a good hand. You might win, but we're going to have to get lucky at this. You reach to grasp the paper but stumble. The demon flames up before you and you feel the heat immediately. The flames roar from the fireplace as the creature seems to take form in front of you. You smell sulfur and brimstone and realize that the demon intends to do you harm. This thing looks like flame, but you guess that you can probably still hurt it. Besides, kicking demons around is your specialty. Or is supposed to be my specialty. Not today, though. That wasn't such a great idea after all. Feel the burn. We'll try that again. So this will not defeat the demon, but it will force it back into the fireplace. And we'll get another chance to look at that paper. If it bleeds... If it burns, it bleeds flames, apparently. You subdue the demon, and it retreats to its fireplace, chastened, but still potent. Okay, so we'll have to come back here. I guess we could try one more time. Not a good hand draw, again. Oh, but enough. We got very lucky there. You quickly spot the slip of paper on the mantel next to an old clock. You quickly grab it and duck back, slipping the paper into your pocket. I think we'll just leave it here. I don't know if we can actually successfully bargain with this one. Your attention is drawn to a burnt corpse sitting in a charred, but yet still comfortable leather chair. The smell of burnt human flesh is overwhelming at first. You've encountered it before, and no matter how often you have experienced it, it always initiates a slight gag reflex. You take a closer look at the body to see if you can figure out what happened. That's when the hands unclench from the armrests and beckon you closer. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the burnt corpse motions you closer. "Come here, will you?" it whispers in a long, drawn-out moan. The sickly smell of burnt human flesh and the crispy animated corpse are too much for your fragile mind to bear, and you feel your grip on reality slipping away. The creature does not seem to be able to leave its chair, being partially melted into the back of it. You think you hear something. The burnt corpse talks in the slightest audible whisper. Its mouth barely moves. "Don't smoke." Holy crap, our chance to flee is bad, as is our chance to attack it. It's the second part of a quest, though, so we are going to try to flee. You decide to muster all your courage and willpower to try to get away from the burnt creature. There is something very wrong with it, and it scares you. We have a fantastic hand. Take a couple steps back as the smell begins to fade. You already feel a lot better. Soon you are away from it and feeling fine. I don't see any encounters on this side, and I'm not willing to walk over here to see if there's a clue token. We already found 3 on the first floor, so I don't think there's any others here. It's one of the reasons why I'm not checking like that one single spot back there either. When the game spawns traps, it likes to put traps at the edges of hallways. I mean, it can put them anywhere, but I tend to find that like if I step here, there might be like a gas trap there or something. So I'm going to avoid that single step. The organ will be here. Okay, so at this point, I think we've done all the exploring I can safely do on the first floor. We could double back again and turn in the piece of paper, but I'd like to wait to do so until after we have dealt with the ghosts. I'm sorry, found the polar bear somewhere. It could be anywhere, I think. In the second floor, out in the backyard. It might be one of these encounters, but I doubt it. It could be over here on the other side of the beam, but I doubt that as well. It could be in this room. That means dealing with the writhing mass of insects, which I don't think we're ready for that yet. So let's walk in here and see if we can find the organ. I suppose we'll at least see where it's located. Your attention is drawn to an old tapestry hanging on the wall that depicts a medieval battle of some sort. It looks like it should be in a museum. Examining the battle scene a little closer, you immediately notice the large red hand that divides two groups of armored knights. Suddenly the battle seems to come to life. Knights charge the hand on both sides and are knocked to the ground. You stare at it in amazement, wondering if you are hallucinating. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the battle unfolds before you. A ghostly vapor seems to enshroud the tapestry. You struggle to maintain your sanity. Cursed artifacts give you the creeps. You remember that night that you spent in the museum at Miskatonic University. You still can't remember several days from that mission. The tapestry is obviously animated by some type of sorcery. It might even be possessed by some malign spirit. You should proceed with caution. It isn't unheard of for something like this to function as a doorway or portal to another dimension. Once in, you might not get back out. So we can destroy the tapestry via magic or tearing it to bits. However, it's part of a quest, and so we'll just come back for this later. 2 more malevolent shadows. So we're not doing psychic challenges at the moment thanks to that one story token, so we'll shadow box these as well. Alright, well done, Samwise. 3 courage. Nice. Gives us a use of giant leap in the future. I have never played a game, by the way, for so long in this without getting experience points. This has been really an interesting game. Normally by now, I think I've gotten another skill card at this point, but we're still struggling to get any XP. You see before you a large and ornate Baroque pipe organ. The bench before it sits empty. Suddenly your ears are filled with the haunting sounds of music resounding from the organ's pipes. The melody is terrifying, and you watch astonished as a ghostly vapor encompasses the musical instrument. You struggle to keep your fear in check. The haunting music threatens to drown you in a sea of melancholy and despair. Something supernatural possesses this musical instrument, and you must resist its effort to chip away at your sanity. You shield yourself by humming a simple show tune that's bothered you for the last few months. You chuckle ironically at the fact that such a bad jingle that annoyed you for so long actually came in handy. We're going to pretend instead that we use the jingle that the busts had sung to keep the music of this organ out of our head. You stand before the pipe organ and struggle to make sense of what you have just seen and, more importantly, heard. There is a powerful spirit bound to this musical instrument via some nefarious sorcery or curse. You can feel the anger and rage building within it. You suspect it is getting ready to assault your mind again. So, we're not going to... So this is what we need to install the parts on and destroy for the Organ Master. You know what? We're just going to leave it alone. Normally, I would attempt to bargain with it just for the chance of more experience points from succeeding at that. But no, we won't bother this time around. Okay, I think that's the entirety of the ground... Well, not quite, right? We still have what's behind here. We have what's behind the insects to explore. Technically, we have what's on the other side of the beam, but I don't think I'm ever going to go... I'm never going to cross that. So, I don't really think we're ready for it, but we're going to go up to the second floor. And we're going to make our way back to the second floor foyer. A locked door. We'll leave that there at the moment. A doorknob monster. You see a typical wooden door. However, when you go to turn the knob to open it, it transforms into a vicious mechanical mouth that sinks its teeth into your hand. The pain is agonizing, and you pull back your hand in alarm only to find it hasn't been hurt at all. Oh, we have our axe. With some effort, you might be able to use the axe to get past a locked door or two. Let's give this a try. The only reason not to play... Oh, we'll play the knight. Oh, right. So this is a physical test, everyone. One of the first physical tests we've actually done. We have a edge that reduces the level of all number cards in a physical edge by a random number between 1 and the level of the edge. And the level of that edge can only be 1. So it lowers every single number card out here by 1, which is why we see a 6. If your card is equal to or greater... If your hand card is equal to or greater than the trick, you're allowed to take it. So in this case, this lets us win. Splinters and a loud noise announce your success in battering down the door. The way now lies open. That was very nice right there at the end. 1 health, 2 experience, and another Aura of Fortune. Let's go to the main menu. So we're going to level up our cups 1 point. That should help us with traps. And then... sorry. So we just leveled our wands once. And now we're going to increase our cups once. And then we're going to grab another skill card. Something that we can use to improve our swords. Now, while I am very interested in searching rooms like this, I'm going to leave them alone at the moment until we can get our cups up 1 more point. This room we might be able to handle, but I'm still gonna wait. Servants of Blood. This vampire coven has created its own little army of twisted hunchbacks to serve it. They must have once been human. Do not underestimate them. Alright, a new story token, everyone. All challenges that involve pentacles as a primary suit receive a -1 modifier to the number of cards drawn to the player's hand while this story icon is active. Much better, though, than instantly dying from failing a psychic challenge. So now I'm also feeling a little more confident about searching the rest of this. Alright, let's search the foyer. You see a human figure lurking in the darkness, and you don't like the look of it at all. It steps forward from out of the gloom. You're confronted with a strange and unusually tall man who towers over 6.5 feet. He seems dressed like a mortician of some sort. He opens his hands to reveal a spiked shiny sphere that miraculously hovers out of his palm. He smiles at you in a creepy voice and says, "I've been waiting for you, boy." This is from, was it, Phantasm? I think the movie, which I still have not ever watched. You have seen a lot of strange things, but this one is right up there. You have the feeling that there is a story here that is just the tip of the iceberg. Your mind is strong. You see things far worse than this. After all, you were part of the odd team to breach a dimensional barrier. The sky and his gizmo don't scare you in the least. Getting courage from a horror challenge. That makes sense, first off. I wonder if I added that as an option. The strange man continues to approach you, striding forward with an unnatural gait. The spike ball now launches itself at high speeds towards you. So normally, I think the only options you have are to attack the strange man and to flee. I added a psychic challenge option and a magical challenge for him. And there's no real difference between psychic or attacking him physically. The results of both of those are the same. So, my abilities, the feats I have, and weapons I possess would benefit me then to use, in this instance, attacking him, rather than any of these other options. Because we have the axe, and we can't use the axe in a psychic challenge or sorcery battle. So let's attack the strange man. You came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and you're all out of gum. Okay, we're definitely going to play the knight so that we can win the challenge. Maybe we can earn a few more points as well. Nope. You make quick work of the strange man. You are pretty sure he's dead. Whether or not he's human is a whole different question. Your attention is drawn to a magnificent grandfather clock that dominates this section of the room. Constructed out of rich mahogany, its exterior is decorated with ornate friezes and carvings. Its large bass pendulum hangs motionless but frozen oddly at a slight angle. You've had your fair share of encounters with possessed or cursed furniture, and you don't sense anything supernatural here. There is something strange, however. An aura or energy of some sort is being hidden here. It is hard, though, not to be awestruck by the quality of craftsmanship that went into the clock. Perhaps it is meant as a distraction. You notice that the main assembly housing contains a multitude of gears, pins, and even tubes. Many seem like they had been added haphazardly. The clock isn't even working. You should be able to follow the possessed organ's instructions. Possessed organs? And find and remove the missing parts. Oh, that's interesting. The organ master told us about this, not the organ. But the organ sends you to the same clock to get the same parts. It wants you to kill the organ master and then use the parts to fix itself. Now, if we fail this challenge, which it looks like we're going to fail it, we have to deal with the trap now. You start to pull out parts and things go from bad to worse. As you remove a pin, you hear a distinctive click and the whirl of a trap triggering. The whirling sound of a trap springing into action gives you a slight head start, but in the blink of an eye, a sheet of needles is flying in your direction. You instinctively twist yourself to the side and fall to the floor, hoping to dodge the razor-sharp cloud of pointing needles hurting towards you. We have a miserable hand draw here. Let's try using Giant Leap. Face card. Didn't help us. Or rather, we're not able to lower the value of a face card, but we did draw a Page of Wands, which helps us reduce the damage we take, but we still fail. You try to evade the wind of glistening steel, but you slip and stagger. You turn your back into the best you can to minimize the damage, hoping they are not poisoned. Okay, whew. We can try that again, but I'm not going to. That didn't work very well for us. That worked, yeah, that did not work very well out for us at all. Actually, I guess we'll try again. I think you keep triggering traps every time you fail this. Oh, okay. 2 kings in our hand is very nice. We just have to hope we can play them. And we can. Okay. Whew. You have to do some digging, but you manage to retrieve the parts. Okay. I guess it's fastest to head back downstairs. Oh, we have the locked door here. I completely forgot about that. Since we're here, Why don't we check what's behind it? Oh, there's no reason why we shouldn't chop it down. The odds of us winning this are amazing. I think the rewards for these are slightly different, though. You know what? We'll try finding the activation mechanism. So I think we can get Auras of Luck for winning this. It's also ill omens if you fail, Tim. Let's try to find the mechanism. And we have an awful hand. Well, I've had better hands than this by quite a bit. But at least we won the challenge. Okay, and we won with a few extra points as well, so that wasn't so bad. That could have been a really bad decision I just made, though. You search around for the door for anything of note and quickly zero in on some promising locations. After filling around with several bumps and nooks, the mechanism clicks, and the door slowly opens. Another Aura of Luck. All right, I'm going to go back to the main menu to save it. Forgot all about this secret door. This room would occasionally have a glitch in it as well. I think there's a nurse who was showing up here that I had altered and it wasn't working properly. But I think I fixed her, so she should be now working correctly. Oh, or it's a Telesrati scientist. You're confronted with a creature from some type of horrible nightmare. It towers over 7 feet tall and seems covered in a sticky translucent slime. You can only describe it as a combination of a snail, cucumber, and octopus. You fight to control your revulsion. This thing is not of our world. It must be from another dimension entirely. You feel overcome with dread and a sickening revulsion. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the strange creature turns to look at you. You have no doubt that you can overcome this nightmarish thing that confronts you. After the initial shock of seeing this strange creature passes, you are pretty sure that you can identify it. Remember your briefings on the Tunguska event of 1908. A portal had been opened by this interdimensional race of aliens known as the Telesrati. An invasion had been foiled by a precursor to the Odd, where the portal generator was overloaded. It had been a narrowly won victory. An interdimensional war had followed. This creature must be a scout sent over to do reconnaissance. Perhaps the energy of this house served as a beacon to pull it here. It seems we have been working on some type of experiment. One thing that you're pretty sure of is that these things can bleed. Let's go ahead and try punching it to death. Let's say, screw you, game. Give me all wands for tricks and no wand cards in my hand. How about that? And then a King of Cups when we have the Queen of Cups in our hand. Screw you. But we still won. The creature is mortally wounded and crumples down into a gelatinous heap. Having dispatched this foul interdimensional monstrosity, you look around and immediately recognize the thing's handiwork. It's been working on creating assistants called brain bots. On the table is a canister containing a human brain. You can't be sure if the thing is even alive anymore. The body has obviously been destroyed. It's kept alive by a network of power cables. Why this one was singled out and not put directly into a crab bot is a mystery. Was it being tortured or interrogated? You notice some odd lights and switches on the outside of the brain canister. You might be able to configure them to see if there's some way of talking with this thing, assuming it's still alive and sane. That's not a good hand. The technology is way beyond anything you have seen, even at the Odd HQ. You scratch your head in dismay. Well, we can try that one more time. I'll try that one more time. And this looks like another failure for us. Did you make this easier for me? You did. We'll try again. Oh, you made it much easier for me. Instead of being a 6 target number, the game feels bad because of how difficult it had decided this would be. And now it's lowered it to a 3. You fiddle around with the switches and stare amazed at the technology that went into constructing this canister. Suddenly a circuit hums into life and the brain starts talking to you. 4 more courage. Greetings! I wasn't sure that you would manage it. I would beg that you destroy me. I have been drained of most of my knowledge, and my tormentor was only prolonging my agony as a punishment. But first you must ensure that no more of its kind can venture into our dimension. Nearby you will find a machine that powers its gate. Destroy it, please. I will give you the codes to do so. I was able to learn them from the Telesratis he probed and then devoured my mind. So much lost. Return here after you have done this. I want to know that it is destroyed. Then you may put me out of my misery. So that would be upstairs in the other room that we saw, the science room. I think it's right up these stairs, actually, so we'll go and do that. But first, we'll lower our cups a point. And I do still want to... Oh, there's nothing... There might be a secret passage down here at the very end of the hallway. Let's step into the hallway. Okay, I don't see it if there is one. The odds of you finding a secret, like we found this secret door, increases the closer you are to it. But there's a chance, I think, for every step you take that you will notice it. Yeah, we want to explore this room. So if we complete the quest successfully, the Brainbot will join us as an ally, and I think it will improve our wands by 1 point, and also help us with lore challenges. So I would like to get that Brainbot before I begin searching these other question marks on the 2nd floor. Another pack of ghouls. We've dealt with these things before. Let's attack them. Barely won. That was a tough group of them. For our experience points, we're going to work on another skill card next. Now, inside this room and the lab where we had beaten the Telesrati downstairs, I believe there's a chance that... Oh, yeah, no, oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a chance that we will fight Brainbots in them. There's also a great chance we'll meet Dr. Laszlo, I think, up in here. So this might not be the machine. That might be the doctor. And it is a doctor. You see a strange man hunched over a work table that is cluttered with blueprints, tools, gadgets, and colorful test tubes. He barely takes any notice of you at first, as if he had frequent visitors to his laboratory, which you find highly unlikely. You recognize the man from his odd file almost immediately. Dr. Laszlo Benway. What could he possibly be doing here? There's obviously some strange convergence that's attracting the most notorious and nefarious characters and supernatural entities to this place. Strange bedfellows? This place is downright dangerous. He's not your primary mission objective. Maybe you two could both find a way to help each other out? You clear your throat and look Bedway straight in the eye when he glances up. You notice from his facial expression the recognition that you are an odd agent, and the faintest hint of a smile crosses his face. Yes, I think you'll do just fine, he says. Your arrival is most serendipitous. I have a task for you. You will be rewarded, of course. Bedway wants you to find his lab refrigerator, which also happens to be this house's only refrigerator, located naturally in the kitchen. Fetch the small jar labeled Boffin juice, and return it here at once. Okay, so that wasn't what I was hoping it would be. So now I don't know where to go to find the portal generator. Alright. So, what quests do I have currently? These quests are all kind of strewn all over the place. Okay, this is going to be a mistake. But let's do it anyway. Let's explore this 2nd floor room while I'm here. You see rows and rows of books. Most of the material is quite pedestrian, and what you would expect to find in the library of a large estate like this. However, occasionally you come across an item that is more esoteric, and you wonder what secrets and knowledge might be hidden here. You'll never know unless you look, of course. You decide to inspect the bookshelf more closely. You scan over the titles and occasionally pull out a volume to get a better look. That's a horrible hand draw, so we're not going to win this. Your search comes up empty. We can get an ill omen from this. I'm pretty sure. And we didn't get anything. As part of a quest for the witches, I believe, who are in the backyard. Another clue token. You smell iron in the air. It smells like blood. Then you hear a long howl from a wolf somewhere nearby. I didn't even notice the third encounter in this room, or I would have not taken this. The first vampire wife, everyone. You catch the faintest motion at the corner of your eye and realize immediately that something is very wrong. You slowly turn to face the threat, and it is as bad as you had imagined. One of the vampire elder's wives emerges slightly from the gloom with a hiss. You can feel the creature radiating a dark aura of fear. She wants you to panic and do something stupid. You start to shake and tremble. You know that she's causing this, but there's nothing you can do to stop it. You just want to run. You've read reports on how the other vampire covens were cleaned out, and you suspected that you might encounter something like this. When she begins to talk directly into your mind, you start to get worried. Come a little closer, won't you? My name is Celine, and I have a gift for you. Oof, yeah, look at this. Difficulty 10. We have a miserable chance to succeed. You don't like the odds of this fight. We're going to try to run. You run for your life and don't look back. You doubt she will follow you. You see a large wood and brass gong. It was completely out of place standing over by itself in the room. You sense immediately, though, that all is not as it seems here. You've seen enough of these things to notice the faint aura that surrounds it. You have no doubt that the gong is a sorcerer's puzzle of some sort. The markings are vague, but you would place it around the period of the Three Kingdoms. There is definitely dark magic at work here. The runes covering the wooden frame must contain the instructions on how to use the gong and access its abilities. It's clear to you that the runes are instructions for solving the puzzle and activating the gong. You set about figuring out their origin and then attempting a translation. Can't place the runes in any system that you've studied so far. They do look familiar, but right now you are stumped. We'll try that again. You recognize the runes as the secret language. Why do these words pop up here when they're not even present? You recognize the runes as the secret language of the enchantments that adorned the terracotta army of the first Qin Emperor. They detail an invocation. You follow the instructions to the letter. At first you think that nothing has happened. Then, suddenly, a ghostly aura enshrouds the gong in you. A flash of light blinds you for just a second, and you know that a gate has been opened and something has come through, and its presence is terrifying. You know from your odd briefings that any time a portal or gate to another dimension is opened up, the effects on the sanity of humans can be quite disastrous. You feel a growing sense of fatigue and despair in the presence of a dimensional rift. Your mind is strong. You have seen things far worse than this. In fact, you were present when the Cacophony Gate was closed with a Lost Elder sign. This pales in comparison. Directly in front of you, a shimmering Chinese dragon now floats, its tail coiled around the base of the gong. Its glowing eyes fix on you, and you hear it speak directly into your mind. I have come to grant you 3 challenges if you can first prove your worthiness. So, like every single thing against, like every single quest, you can try to destroy the creature in front of you. But I think we will request the challenges instead, because this will offer up a 3-part quest, which occurs right here and right in a row if we decide to take it. You step forward to prove your worthiness. Barely worthy. You convince Shen of your worthiness to proceed with the 3 challenges. Good, mortal. You have convinced me of your worthiness. You must approach the portal and recite the Oath of Entrance. Once you enter, you cannot leave unless you best all 3 of the Guardians. Should you fail, you will be destroyed. On the other side, you will face 3 challenges. The first is a trial by combat. The second is a test of the body. And finally comes an examination of the mind. 3 teachers await you. But first, you must open the gate to the arena and then step inside. So, I will come back to this. I wouldn't mind. Well, then again, maybe we can do it now. It's Pentacles as a primary suit. I think that's spells, so I don't think we'll have to worry about that here. Let's save the game really quick. Oh, no, don't do that. We don't want a new game. And then, and the only reason I'm doing this is just in case some area of here glitches. These can be very dangerous. The first one is indeed a combat. The second one is basically an evade trap, and the last one is a, I think a lore or persuasion test. I really would not have minded having the brain bot with me, but we still haven't found out where on Earth the portal generator is. Maybe it's in the attic. In any case, we'll make an attempt at doing this for now, and then we'll call the session after we're done. Alright. You remember Shen's warning that once you have entered the portal, you will not be able to return until you have bested all 3 of the teachers who await you on the other side. However, you believe that you are ready, and you decide to bravely step forward and recite the Oath of Entrance, and then cross through whatever portal opens up. Not the best hand draw in the world. You recite the oath and hear Shen begin to chuckle. Say it like you mean it, mortal. Maybe that is an omen that we shouldn't do this. Oh, Pentacles is the primary modifier here, so this is a little more difficult. But we'll do another attempt. Hopefully we get some swords up there. And we don't. One more try, and if this fails, we're giving up. We're in. You recite the oath, and a door that shimmers like rippling water at sunset opens up before you. You take a deep breath and cross over. The mist clears, and you are greeted by an old man dressed in flowing embroidered Chinese robes. He appears to be a scholar or functionary of some sort, and yet he is armed like a soldier as well. You feel that you should know who he is, but you can't quite recall his name. Greetings, Lost One. I am the spirit of Deng Zhao, tyrant, counselor, and once grand tutor. And now, I must school you. Choose the form of your destruction. Physical combat, magical, or psychic. We will choose physical. He's an overweight old man with a sword. I think I can handle this. Nice. It's all in the reflexes. Oh, so this is a nice nod to, what was that movie called? Big Trouble in Little China. Deng Zhao crumples to the mist-covered floor of your pocket-dimensional arena. In a flash, everything shifts like you are jumping from one train to the next. A machete. Again, we're not getting a lot of experience points, but we're getting lots of other things. So, it weighs 2, it takes up space in our swords inventory, but this gives us another option for melee combat, and increases our swords by 1. I'm going to imagine that all these melee weapons we're finding, we've got 2 of them, are actually like an uppercut or some sort of special right hook that Samwise is able to use instead of the actual weapon that we've got here. But that's very nice to get a weapon from him. The mist clears and you are greeted by a young warrior wielding a gigantic Chinese polearm. Greetings, Lost One. I am the spirit of Sun Ce, soldier, conqueror, and hero. And now, I must test you. You have only to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge to survive my blade and you will advance. So, someone's told me that this sentence is from Dodgeball, the movie. So that's pretty clever. I like that. I think this guy's supposed to represent the one Guardian from the second Matrix that Neo fought. You position yourself in a ready stance and raise your hand towards Sun Ce. Without a word, you motion with your hand for the test to commence. Well, not the best hand in the world. And we fail. You feel the sharp blade of the polearm rip and shred your clothing and flesh. You are not sure if the wounds are imaginary or real, but the pain certainly is. Come, Lost One. You must try again. You can get wounded from this. You can get wounded from this. Okay. Alright, a better hand. We at least have some face cards in our hand. And we were able to take the first point card with another number card. Oh, screw you, game. I hate you to death. You evade all the blows in flawless display of speed and agility. Perhaps you are the one. The mist clears, and you are greeted by a middle-aged man sitting on a silk cushion. He looks up at you with a smile. Congrats, Lost One. I am Cao Cao, the poet. I delight in your arrival, for visitors are few, but you must best me in a duel of poetry. I find that words can cut deeper than any steel. Cao Cao begins his poem. I lift my drink and sing a song, for who knows if life is short or long. Man's life is but the morning dew, past days many, future ones few. You think on the matter, and then recite your poem. You can get wounded, I think, from this too, or suffer an impairment, so we definitely don't want to lose the encounter if we can avoid it. Wonderful! Absolutely wonderful, gushes the poet. I've never heard such an elegant observation on roses and their colors. Truly enlightening. In a flash, everything shifts like you are jumping from one train to the next. You find yourself back in your dimension once again, confronting Shen, the mystical dragon of the enchanted King Gong. Wow. Well done, mortal. You are the first in many centuries to face the three challenges in return. I hope that you have learned from your journey. You step forward and ask Shen to grant you your reward for besting the three challenges. As you wish. Anytime you would gain health, there is a 5% chance that you will gain that much sanity as well. We get another Arcana card, the Hermit. Blocks 2 sanity loss points from being applied to your character after the results phase has finished, while this card is in your inventory. Very nice. So this gives us a chance to gain sanity, and this prevents us from losing as much of it. And we even gain 2 sanity. We gained 1 more experience. Alright, everyone, so we'll stop here. So thank you guys for watching. A successful run so far this episode. Again, we're not getting any significant amounts of experience points, though. We're almost at 4 tokens drawn. So we are currently at 1/4 of the story progression completed. We're much lower level than I'd like to be, but we did get 2 melee weapons already, which is very nice. So I can't really complain about that, and we gained some courage this last episode, and that Arcana card could be really useful. You'll see me try to hold on to this card for a very long time. I really do not want to pass up the Hermit. Reducing the sanity loss we take can be very helpful when we fail psychic challenges or horror challenges, for example. Alright, so we're done. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.